Afternoon, this is Jeff with Sewer Tech Northwest. We're at property address 5069 Southeast King Road, setting up in front of the, as you face into the property from the street, far right unit here that's being constructed. Going into a 3-inch ABS clean out. We're going to advance out here to see if we've got any issues with a clean out that got run over. By my estimation, that's going to be somewhere around 80 feet or so downline. I think we are approaching. This looks like the winner right here. I'm gonna go pop that clean out open here just to see if I can see the light from the camera head. Alright, just opened the clean out up there. Could very easily see the camera head. And we're pushing past, this is just immediately past that joint there. So from the looks of it, you've got a little bit of standing water. I mean, it's very minute. There's also a little bit of dirt in the line. Sometimes that little bit of fine dirt sediment can actually cause water to stand. And what you've got there is like maybe a 32nd of an inch. But it's entirely possible that dirt may be part of the reason why there's any water standing at all. And you can see how that stuff is sitting immediately at the base of that clean out. It's possible when that got opened up the first time, a little bit may have fallen into there because the rest of the line here doesn't have that. It's not a major amount of dirt. There's enough there to potentially cause some of that water to stand. Anyway, from what I can see here, the pipe looks like it held up to it. I don't see anything obviously broken here. Got a little bit of settling. There's even a little bit of settling potentially prior to it, but you get a better look at these things from that standpoint when the line has had water go through it for a while to clear all that stuff out of the flow line. So either way, no matter how you shake it, the standing water you do have here is extremely minor. That was about 91 feet to the joint just past the clean out. I don't see anything obviously busted here. That's the clean out. There's a little bit of a line that runs down the sidewall of the pipe there. It's right now I'm kind of looking at the bottom part of the screen. Camera's upside down right now. About halfway up or down the sidewall, depending on which direction you go from, there's a kind of a white line that runs across the width of that T-joint. I don't see any obvious... That's the only spot there where I could theoretically maybe say it has a little bit of a crack in it. It's so minute, though. It could easily just be like a score line or something. There's a lot of things that could cause that. So generally speaking, what I would expect to see if it had been cracked and busted open for some amount of time is usually you're going to at least have a dirt line. If that were cracked open to the ground, I would expect to see kind of a brown line running straight across it where dirt was trying to seep through. Anyway, it's a hard one. If there is anything going on there, it's hairline, and it's without having dirt or anything coming through that, I'm not even sure that's even a crack or a hairline crack there. There's a lot of different things that could cause that, especially in the line that's kind of dirty. Anyhow, I feel like we've had enough rain lately. When you get any kind of wet, saturated ground like that, usually you're going to have evidence of it. Even if it's a very fine crack, generally speaking, you're going to have a brown line running right across it where even small amounts of dirt's trying to get through. Or water droplets trying to seep through it or something of that nature. Anyhow, the standing wire there is minor enough. It's hard to tell right now if that's related to a gradation issue, but if a vehicle went over the top of that, it's possible that accounts for that little bit of standing water there. The unknown is if you go to pave over that, is it going to increase at all? That's the big unknown. I wish I could predict that for you, but it's impossible. And being that, you know, unless that standing water were to increase substantially, that's almost 100 feet away from these buildings. Standing water that minor has essentially zero bearing on functionality at all anyway. So, anyway, hard call to make there on that little line we see. There's that one. There's one other little tiny line in the same exact T-joint. It's very hard to tell if those are stress lines from when the vehicle went over the top of that, or if they're just score markings or whatnot from just, you know, the line being a little bit dirty and something rubbing on it or whatnot. So even the camera going past it, I have to go back and review the video if the camera could have caused that.